Fine. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. So we're moving from an amazing session to also another amazing session. And with me also is Jennifer, as always. And I want to also say we miss Emilios so much, right? And we have Vasily here, a great friend of mine, who will be talking about his awesome solution that he's building, right, with XR or WebXR for arts and culture. And also, Jennifer will give a brief overview of who Vasily is, and also he will take it up from there. So, Jennifer?
Great. Thank you, Arome. Thank you. I am privileged to introduce to you all Vasily Gnuchev. He was born in 1980 in a family with a long history in art and science. You're going to hear this in a second. It's amazing. Music composers, painters, sculptors, scientists, and architects have been known in his family since the 18th century. They came to the Russian Empire from Italy, Germany, and Switzerland. These people were inspired and devoted to their passion. I'm gonna try these names, and if I don't get them all, just bear with me. Architect Alberto Cavos, painters Zineda Zarabriakova and Alexander Benua, sculptor Yevgeny Lansere, scientist Vladimir Engelhardt, which are probably some of the most famous among his ancestors. Enchanted by the beauty of art and always curious about science, he graduated from Moscow Architectural Institute and started his own architectural practice in 2003. Intrigued by the computer graphics possibilities, he always created imaginary worlds in CAD as an illustration for his clients. Since 2010, he started to work more with IT and worked on smaller startup projects, from online collaboration to project management. But he really always had a dream to build a museum. So when he learned about VR and the Unreal Engine, he realized what he had to do. There was a possibility to bring fine art and history to every home, every school, every class, to the most distant regions, to all of the world, really, particularly those that were unable to participate in the global exchange of ideas and learn about history of art, experience the beauty of it. With Artheon VR Museum, we can remove all borders, unite people in this global virtual art space, allow collaboration and discussion between different geographies, and even between different time and space. Vasily invites us all to join in building it. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to him to give us more information about what he's working on and ways we can join in.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. It was an amazing presentation. Yeah, actually, I have a book of one of the persons that you mentioned, Zinaida Serebrякova, and it's a book based on her travel to Morocco in 1930s. She was there 2 times, and she was fascinated also by the beauty of this country. So she is one of my inspirations, of course, in life as well. And yeah, so I was like always surrounded by art, by books of art. I was usually we were often visiting museums and exhibitions, and it was like, for me, it's a very natural thing to be in this, surrounded by art and beauty of old masters and so on. So, but later in life, I spent 3 years living in a very small countryside village, far from Moscow, like 1,000 kilometers from Moscow to the east, almost Siberia, not Siberia, but almost. And so I spent time with people who lived in this very small village without museums, without ability to go to these institutions. And yeah, so it felt like we should bring art closer to everyone. And yeah, so if I may, I can maybe share the presentation I have and talk about inspiration and our mission as we see it. And I start with a question: how do we make art accessible for all? And is it Barry Knight is asking, is access to art a human right? And I think it's very important to provide access to the art to everyone. And actually, it's a very old idea. For example, the first museum or museon was founded at Alexandria about 300 years before our era by King Ptolemy, first Soter. And he founded this Artheon, this museum, sorry, as in an attempt to compete with Athens, to create some think tank where famous philosophers, scientists would gather together and create something beautiful. So basically, they have like full pension here. They were provided with rooms, with food, with money, just to live in this museum and do something beautiful, work on mathematics, astronomy, and also there was the largest library, legendary library, founded by him. So every ship has to bring some books to this library and leave original books in the library and only have a copy on board. So even this long time ago, people cared about preserving knowledge, sharing knowledge, and art. And later, like 2000 years later, we saw that like colonization was happening, colonialism, and many European countries, they took artifacts from other countries and bring them to the capitals or to the wealthy houses. And so now we can see a statue of Ramses II at British Museum, for example, and Nefertiti at News Museum. And you know, it's not where they came from. And basically, right now we can see this very stretched picture of how world heritage is spread around the world, and it's not evenly spread. We can see that European countries and some big countries have a lot of artifacts, some art pieces, and other countries don't have access to this art. And even the number of museums is quite large. It's 95,000 museums globally. But they are mostly in Western Europe, in Eastern Europe, and some in Asia. But in Africa, for example, there are not much museums. And again, even when we see these large numbers for Western Europe, Russia actually also has a lot of museums. But again, for small towns, for villages, it's not relevant because, for example, in Vladivostok, there are not much museums, and traveling from Vladivostok, Russia, to Moscow is even more expensive than from Moscow to New York, because it's like 12 time zones, you know, or maybe 10 time zones between Vladivostok and Moscow. So actually access to the museums is quite limited. And this is again a distribution of how many museums are per state, per million inhabitants, and again we can see that things could be better. And even with this digital things, with virtual museums that we have, we can see that again some famous museums, they provide access, but smaller museums, they are not able to provide these digital programs. They are not ready to participate in this competition, I would say, between digital versions of a museum. Again, some big institutions have a lot of funds to build these virtual spaces, to provide some virtual activities, and smaller museums cannot compete. Some museums were hurt greatly by COVID because of the lockdowns and lack of tourists. But we believe that there is hope. A Budapest initiative, open access initiative, was initially created by scientists to share science articles, to share science work and research, to be able to participate worldwide. And recently, this initiative was also taken by museums. Some of the largest museums in the world, like Metropolitan Museum of Art and Rijksmuseum and Smithsonian Museum, published hundreds of thousands of art pieces scanned with annotations, with metadata, providing dimensions and everything. And so this art is now available on the internet, but it's like a number of separate databases, and it's not easy for a regular people and just to browse this data and to make sense of all these different databases. So we decided that we can probably bring them all together in one place and make it accessible. And yeah, so that's why we are building Artheon. We want Artheon to be a platform for everyone, for big and small museums, for galleries, for artists to publish, display, and collaborate in a virtual space without requirement for having huge technical staff or understanding of how programming works or VR works. So I will just skip a little bit. Yeah, so even smaller museums can upload art to the Artheon, and even 3D. And then these artworks would be available in these virtual halls, in virtual spaces. We already have more than 400,000 artworks from Metropolitan Museum and other museums. And most paintings are it's a very high quality of photographs. So you can zoom in and you can, if you are in VR, you can come closer and see paintings in high fidelity. And if you are on a PC or Mac, you can just zoom in with the mouse, and you can actually touch objects in virtual reality. You can take start. I will not click this link because I'm not sure how it will work. Just Yeah, so you can even put 3D objects and fully scanned 3D interiors inside and visiting them in VR. So we fully support open API initiative as well, and our database is it has an API, so you can access it programmatically, and you can register, and then you can upload and manage your artworks with Python or and what else? Yeah, and it's one of the interesting things that it's multi-platform, because what we didn't want to build it like a gated community for VR users who probably already have money maybe and the ability to travel. So we want as many people to participate as possible. So Artheon is available not only for VR headsets, but it's also available like a desktop application, first person. You can walk like in Minecraft or I don't know GTA and talk with other people and explore art on all these platforms. For Oculus VR, we have a standalone, of course, VR application, and yeah. So this is our call. Let's make art free for all, available everywhere, interactive and fun. And I can also share a small video. I'm not sure. Hi, can I?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so it's a little demo with we have built for the Artheon. I will. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think
so
you have to click on share, and then click on. Is it on Chrome?
okay. I'm sorry.
Click on Chrome tab, then you select the exact tab it's on. Then we can see it.
Okay. Sorry for this technical difficulties. It's a new platform for me.
Sorry. Okay, I've seen it.
Okay.
Okay, you can see it now.
Yeah, so here we can see how I'm creating a new collection of artworks, and I'm adding some Rembrandt's self-portraits to this gallery. And it's very interesting actually, because usually in museum you have a very small set of artworks that this museum has because most artworks usually are stored and are not available for general public. But with Artheon, you can browse and see these artworks that are hidden usually, and you can build an exhibition just for yourself and for everyone on the platform. As you can see, it's just fantastic how detailed all these photos are. And I spent quite a lot of time just shooting this demo. Yeah, so here you can see that it's also has sculptures and This is like our avatars of some people discussing art in the museum. And we believe it could be used to host some events and guided tours. So yeah, basically it's up to you how you would like to use this opportunity to have your own virtual gallery with all the artworks you would like to showcase. And yeah, we invite everyone to sign up for early access on our website, and we hope that we will soon be live. And we just invite you to build your galleries and share your art with the world. Yeah.
Wow, so inspiring.
Yeah.
The pictures and I mean, the experience itself is so amazing. And I think it's great that you invite others to come in and co-create with you. How amazing that is, you know, to bring all of that in and be able to share with the world so many different perspectives and ideas and art. It's beautiful.
This.
Thank you.
I already have ideas running through my head, right? So some questions I have, right, regarding the project or the experience is it accessible on PC mobile, or just VR?
Yes, it would be accessible on PC. We are currently we have applied to be published on the Steam. So we hope it would be available on Steam as well, and it would be available for Windows PC and for Macs as well. I'm not sure how the performance would be on some Macs, but it works. We've tested.
Also, can, like, for example, a museum that has a lot of digital versions of the artworks, right? What's the process like to have such artworks on your platform? How is the onboarding process like? Do they need to be technical, or you just need to just drag and drop?
Um, yeah, so basically, it's like uploading a profile picture or any picture to Facebook. When you have Artheon installed, you just play the game and then you click create new artwork, select a file on your PC. It uploads, and you provide description, author, date, dimensions. There have to be dimensions because we try to represent all objects as they are. So we have all the images, all the paintings in their real scale in VR. And that's it. You just click upload, and your art is in our database, and then you can just access it and put it on the wall on your gallery, and you can create collection or space with all your artwork. It's that easy.
Great. Sorry, one last question. And is do users have the ability to create their own environment? For example, if I'm working with a museum from Africa, I want my environment to look more African, right? Is it possible?
It's not yet possible. We hope it would be possible, but for now we only have a limited set of spaces. But we are looking for ways to make it more customizable. So I hope it would be possible in the future.
That would be very, very good. Jennifer?
Yeah. So that leads into my next question. So Vasily, give us an idea of how long it took you to build this environment. You know, from the time that you had the idea to the time that you that it was created for people to experience. And give us an idea. You kind of started to talk about this. What you're planning to do next with it? How is it going to continue to grow?
So basically, building an environment is relatively easy. And if you, for example, work in Archviz and you are familiar with 3D Max and Unreal Engine, then it's just a matter of maybe a week to build a nice environment, or perhaps even a few days. So in what we are building in Artheon, of course, there were many challenges. For example, data that we have was in different formats. Each museum published in some different format, so different descriptions, and so we had to make it, readable and understandable. And and then we tried to so basically a lot of work came to building a multiplayer platform as well, because many Unreal features were not as good as we wanted to, and so we had to integrate Vivox platform for voice, which is used in Fortnite. And we recently tested, and so the voice quality is as good as it is on Discord. Basically, we were talking on Discord, and then we switched it off, and we continued talking in Artheon, and it was just the same. So building all this multiplayer and server abilities to create your own environment, to save it, to create your own library of artworks, collection of artworks, talk with others. This is the most challenging part. And also building it for multi-platforms as well, it's also challenging. So I would say, like, building a platform for just a single player is relatively easy, but multiplayer is a hell of a work.
How large was your team that was working on this?
It's it's very small. It's a very small team. So basically, we have two co-founders, me and Igor, and he is our CTO. He knows, I think, all the programming languages available, and we also have a few people who help us. One is helping full time, and so basically it's about 5 people altogether, and we have some people on freelance, but altogether anyway it's less than 10. But the core team is 3 of us. So it took some time, and we don't have the thing is that we are making it free for now, and we don't have a ready to implement business model. We do have some ideas, but we don't have a business plan as of yet. We have some people who want to invest, but we are not providing them with the answer how we will get making money. So it's it's just, and because of this we don't have investments, and we have to bootstrap it from friends and family support.
Sure. I think that's a good message for anyone that's trying to make a dream come alive, right? You've got a small team, you're working hard, and really, striving for the ways in which to communicate to potential investors how you can bring value. I think that's great. That's the right thing to do, for sure. Absolutely. Do you have any plans? Where are you going next with the project? What's next on your roadmap?
Yes. So first of all, we want to go live, because we are still just testing internally, and we are preparing to be released on Oculus Store and on Steam. And so I hope next month we will be going live for early access. So if you want to participate, sign up on our website, and we will send you an invitation as soon as possible. And that's our first step, and we will see what future will bring.
Great.
We are really open for everything that comes.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Mhm. Thank you so much. That was very, very insightful. I learned a lot actually, and I will definitely reach out. I need to experience that your platform and see how amazing it looks like. So thank you so much for your time, Jennifer.
Thank you
Thank
so much, Vasily. It's such an inspiration, I think, to everyone about how you can pull together a group, bootstrap something, put something out there for the world to see, and then continue to iterate from there. So perfect start. I look forward to staying connected and learning more about where you're headed and any ways that we can support.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was an honor to be with you.
Great. Do have a great day. All right. Thank you guys so much for your time. That was amazing, right? How XR is interconnecting with culture and also art, right? And up next we have a startup from Nigeria also that is doing great stuff with XR for fashion and also 3D modeling of how do I put it, of clothing materials that are used by designers, right? So it will be great for you guys to see what they're doing and the amazing stuff they're also doing. So thank you so much for your time and see you on the next session. Jennifer?
Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Bye.